The teach meet is tomorrow. I know it begins about 8 a.m. my time, which means 9 a.m. New York time. And that's about 2 o'clock, I think, UK, London time. Hi, everyone. Welcome to American TESOL Presents Free Friday Webinars. I'm Shelly Terrell, and I'm your host. And today I'm in the U.S., back home in San Antonio. So the last month I came to you from Croatia, from Slovenia, and from the UK, Liverpool and Oxford. But now I'm home. Yay! And every Friday we're here, no matter where in the world I am or no matter where in the world you are. We do record these, and you do get a American TESOL certification if you just go to the website bit.elt links, which is written down there. You will also find all the resources there, and you'll even find the slides. The slides have already been downloaded, so you can have access to them. And then you can even get free recordings as well of any that you missed. There are over 100 of these webinars that we've given, so there's definitely probably something that you've missed. I wish I was coming to Turkey. Unfortunately, I won't be able to do it anytime in the next month, but maybe within the year. I actually visit Turkey quite a lot. So today we're going to talk about outdoor activities with mobile devices, but don't feel like these are adaptable. So I've used these activities with digital cameras, so you don't necessarily have to have a smartphone or a cell phone or an iPad to do this. You can simply have just any type of camera if you want. So one of the reasons why I wanted to do this webinar now is because in many places around the world, the weather is getting nice, and so you're able to go outdoors if your school allows it. Then you really should have a day. One of the things that I would do, I happen to be in a warm area in Texas, so it's easy to kind of go outdoors a lot. And I love taking students outside. It's very, very creative, and it really helps them. It helps you with classroom management. When you observe children, if you observe 2-year-olds, 1-year-olds playing outdoors, then one of the things that you'll notice is that the children, they naturally are inclined to explore. They pick up objects, they play with dirt, they do different things that really help them to explore. And they're very curious, and they have so much fun and interest, and they're just naturally engaged. So it's good to bring that energy into the classroom. So one of the things that you can do is you ask your administrator if one day a week it would be possible if you could go outside. And usually if you start small like that, they'll let you. I have found. And then tell them what kind of activities you're going to have. So the activities here get them to explore nature, and it's really good for language learners because then they can also feel free to attach vocabulary with it. There's different types of vocabulary that you can actually explore outdoors in nature. So previous webinars that I have done, oh, it's still, Elena, it's cold in Athens. Oh, that's terrible. Well, when the weather gets warm, you'll be really prepared. Why mobile devices? Well, the great thing about mobile devices, why they're great for learning outside, is because they're so small. They're mobile. You can carry it around. But they also come with great features to really help students explore the outdoors. You can record audio. You can record a video. You can capture photos. You can take notes. You can scan. With QR codes, you can use geolocation, texting, augmented reality. So all of these are great ways to explore the outdoors. And you can see here an example of a bring your own devices school. So here we have, the students have different devices, and they're allowed to use their devices to explore outside. Now in this particular area, it's not very pretty. So don't feel like you're limited, like just because it's not the best, prettiest area. There's always something really exciting to explore outdoors. So I'm going to go ahead and give you a list of activities, and then I'll also make suggestions of different types of apps if you have apps available. Um, but, oh, I'm sorry, you can't hear. Can everybody else hear me okay? Sometimes it's the browser, and sometimes, oh, okay, good. Then it might be your bandwidth isn't that strong. But this is one of the things I love to have students do. It's really great to have them observe outdoors, because a lot of times they'll read about this in books, but when they go outside, they get to actually explore with realia. So one way you can have them do that is they can do nature sketches. Students can sketch any object. You can take them outside, they sketch an object, and then they describe its features. Now they can do that with any kind of drawing app, okay? They can sketch it with pen and paper and then take a picture of it. Um, you can scan them later, so there's different works around it. Now, one of the reasons why you have them sketch with a mobile device, if you have something, for example, like even Android has an app like this, but this is Penultimate. Penultimate is my favorite app right now. I love it. Let me go ahead and show you what Penultimate does, okay? Penultimate allows students to take pictures, and then they can draw. They can actually draw in them. So let me go ahead and show you an example of this. Okay, here we go. So this is Penultimate, and then you can do drawings. So you can even write in cursive with your hand. Let me show you one note that I already took. That's really nice. 7 pages. Okay, here we go. And this is what I use for conferences. This app is my favorite app for conferences. So here you can see an example where I took a picture and then I wrote notes with it. So this would be really great for sketching nature or taking pictures of nature and then writing down different types of descriptions with the nature. So that's one of, yes, it is absolutely free. All the apps I show you are free. And this is part of Evernote. Has a lot of different apps, the makers of it. And so the great thing about Penultimate is it reads your handwriting as as text. So it'll automatically store it for you, and when you go back and search, it'll search your handwriting. So it's really just a great kind of app to use. Another thing students can do is they can work in small groups, maybe about 3 or 4. You can even do 5. It's okay with this activity because they're going to play a mobile hide and seek. So what they do is one person is the leader, okay? So they have the mobile device, because you have one mobile device per group, and they will just simply go and they'll take a picture. Um, within 10, or the other students will hide, they'll close their eyes, and they'll count to 10 or 20, whatever you think is good. And within that time, the other student runs and takes a picture. And then the student runs back within the time, shows them the picture, and they have to try and find it, okay? So that's mobile hide and seek. And they'll have a lot of fun with that. I think that one works really well for younger kids who and then you can have them describe the picture, do clues, say different clues, and then they can practice things like they can prepositions and things like that. Oh, you're near, you're far, take 2 steps. They can practice instructions as well. So when you're outside, if it's a really nice day, you can take pictures of the clouds. So you can have, ooh, I didn't write this really well, sorry, but you can have them make cloud stories. Now, a good app for that. And so first they're going to lay down in the ground, or they're just going to look up, okay, and they're going to look at the clouds, and they're going to take a picture of them. But they're also going to try and do the game. They're going to work in small groups, and they're going to guess they're going to say what they believe the cloud looks like. So each of them will brainstorm what the cloud looks like. And then they'll take their pictures, and they can use an app such as this Book Press app, or if you want them to go on, they can use something like Story. Storybird. If you have access to computers, then they can put the pictures and upload them there. So what they're doing with the mobile device is just taking pictures of the clouds, and then they can even record their voice of what they're brainstorming or what they think the clouds are. So you can use even an app like SQ or they can just take the pictures and record what they're brainstorming. And then they're going to create a story of that, okay? Now, if you teach CLIL, if you teach science, one of the things you can have them do is they can go and they can actually look at classifications of clouds, and they can try and name and label the clouds. And they can do that easily after taking the picture. So that's one adaptation you can do. You can do that with teens as well, because it's a great way to get them to learn about clouds, and then you can teach about the weather and things like that. They can even predict the weather the next day or later that day by the cloud pictures that they took. So you can use any kind of app that creates books. You can use Android and stuff like that. So this is an adaptation of something called Scrapbook. So I would have my language learners, I'd give them a list of different types of adjectives sometimes. Or I'd say, okay, we're going to go outside after pre-teaching outdoors, like leaves and rocks and different things like that. So they're going to create a nature scrapbook. Now, you can always do this with, of course, plastic bags, and then you can press them and collect the leaves and stuff. But one of the advantages of creating a nature scrapbook on your mobile device is that they can keep it. They can keep it in the cloud for a very, very long time. So it's great for them to put it on there. They can create a scrapbook of different specimens they observe and write short descriptions of them. So they can use different types of tools, for example, like Mooklet. Mooklet allows them to take a picture and to write about it. So Mooklet, it would be a really great, or you can use any kind of writing apps as well. If you have access to a computer, exactly, Peggy, and the flowers don't die. You're very friendly to nature, and you don't disturb the ecosystem that's around your area. So it's a really good idea. Another idea is exploring habitat. So if you're studying about animals, if you're studying about homes, if you're studying about different objects and where animals can live, then you can go around and you can have students explore they work in small groups and they explore an animal's habitats, or they can work in pairs. They have to take images of the habitat. Now, this is a long-term project, so for a week I have them, or even a month if possible, they'll explore an animal's habitat. And every day they have to take pictures, they have to take notes, they have to write down things that they've observed with the animal, and it's changing. It changes how the weather impacts it, how if somebody goes and somebody puts trash there, how that impacts it. So different things like that. What they're doing is a field observation, and over time it's really interesting for them because they'll be able to see differences in the way the environment changes. So they can include images of the habitat. They can use a variety of apps to do this. They can use something like Pearl Trees or Poplin or Digo or Delicious to bookmark research that they find, because while they're exploring the habitat, they're also looking up things about the animal, and they're going to see the similarities between the research and then also the animal as well. A lot of times they'll take pictures of bugs, and then they'll go, and the students like to figure out what kind of a bug it is, because we don't always know the bugs that are around. And so that's something that we do is bugs. They can create a short video with the information and images gathered, or they can create a book. So it's up to you the way you want them to present their ideas. They can also create a presentation. So you get to show them. So they can use something like Mooklet, or they can use something like SQ and I'll show you what SQ is. That SQ is a really wonderful app that I enjoy a lot. Or they can just create a podcast of it as well. I like, or Animoto. Animoto is great for a project like that. I like multimedia presentations. I like where they can add images, they can add sound, they can add different types of writing as well. So those tend to be the apps that I enjoy. There's also the Show Me app, Educreations, and Screenshot. All of those are just wonderful, wonderful apps that you can use as well. Adjective scavenger hunt. You can give students a list of adjectives or verbs or nouns, different things, colors. You can do this with a variety of different types of teaching concepts. So you don't have to limit it to adjectives. And then what they do is they have to find an example of each and take a picture and then write a description. So what they're doing is you just list it and then they come and then, hi, Ayat. Better late than never, as they say. So you can have them go and they can come up with it themselves. Now, what I used to do is I used to have them do this as drawing. So the first activity that I would have the students do before I had any technology is they would just draw it. Now, you can see the advantages of having a mobile device and taking a picture because it really saves them time from drawing. You spend the whole day outside, which isn't bad, but it's good to have a mobile device to do that with. For adult students, you can have this activity that students love, especially if you live in the city. Now, this is something they do outdoors, but they do at home while they're riding the bus. I give them a week to do this. So they have time, and this is supposed to be outside of class. Although sometimes in your schools, there's graffiti, unfortunately, there as well. So students, I say this is your mission for the week. So they have mobile missions, things that they do at home. So they have graffiti or art. They get to decide if the graffiti is art. So they take different pictures of graffiti they consider art, and a lot of them will like to take it and post it on Instagram. That's okay. And they should also look for examples of graffiti they see that they do not consider art. And then they have to explain their choices, why they think one example is artistic, and if it makes a statement, you can go into the politicalness of it and stuff. So this is good for teenagers and adults. I've even done this with adult classes in Germany that were around 30 to 60 years old. So they enjoyed this as well. And then in class, it generates a good discussion because when the students present this, the other students will disagree or agree. So it makes for some really great discussion. They can use an app like Write About This. There is a free version. It allows you to take pictures, and then it allows you to write on the side. Just like you can upload your own pictures, and then it gives you like a writing paper on the side, and then that's where your students can write what their support is for, why they believe that it's art or why they believe it's not art. Now, in class, one of the things you can do as well is you can use a polling app, and you can have students poll while they're doing the presentation, poll, yes, art, not art, okay? So that's one of the adaptions. Hi, Mariana, it's great to see you. I didn't notice you earlier. This is SQ Quick. Now, the thing about SQ Quick, it's sort of like Photo Babble. You take a picture, you can draw on it, and then you can also record your voice. It has up to 7 pictures. So it's great for something like the art one because as well you can do that with art or not. So it limits them to 7 pictures. And so that's one of the good things because then you know that they have to contribute 7 pictures for it. Field study of an animal. Oh, why did some of these slides? So basically that's the same thing as the habitat ones, and they just observe the animal over a certain amount of time and write different descriptions. Now, there's a lot of different things you can do with outdoor activities. There's so many apps that really contribute and support whatever you want to do. But I think what you have to do first, my advice to teachers is when they're using mobile devices and apps, is first you want to go ahead and you don't want to go from the app point of view, but you want to go from the task. So something, for example, as having them go outside and report the news. Maybe they're going to report the news in the environment change. Maybe they're going to do a scavenger hunt. So then you find an app that supports that. Then you have to decide how you want them to present. Do you want them to present with pictures? Do you want them to present with like a PowerPoint presentation? Do you want them to present a digital story? Do you want them to make a video of it? And that's going to decide what kind of app your students use. I like Evernote Suite. So now I'm going to show you a bunch of different apps that are really great that you can use for different activities outside. So the activities that I showed you, there's about 100 that I could show you. But you can simply go to the SlideShare. And in my SlideShare, you're going to see activities for Move It. There's one on moving with mobile devices. They'll give you more outdoor activities. Things like students can create their own sports and stuff and teach it to the rest of the class. Another one, and then you play it outside, so you're outside doing that. You can even use, okay, so Ayat tells us, I have tried using the camera outside the class with my students in their latest week, and it was great fun, and it extended to language content in a wonderful way. Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Okay, so you can go ahead and see that. And then I guess it's an alphabet photographing game. That sounds like a fantastic idea. Great idea. So Evernote, why do I like it so much? Evernote's in all devices. It's on your browser. It's on your computer. It's also on your mobile device. It's on Android, BlackBerry, everywhere. It's just wonderful. You can take pictures with Evernote. You can, any picture with the text in it, it automatically reads as text. So it makes the text and images searchable, which I think is really cool. You can organize by notebooks, tags, and categories. It syncs on all devices. There's so many different things you can do with Evernote. And the producers of Evernote have about 10 apps. They're just great for learning, language learning, all kinds of learning. They're great for observation. So when you're taking notes with Evernote, the thing about it is it's a little messy. So I'm going to show you Evernote. So you just, like penultimate, that's part of the Evernote seats. That's a bit messy, okay? I understand that's a bit messy. So, but if I go home, it puts it in notebooks for me. See, it has it all in notebooks for me. But when I go to the actual Evernote, so I'm going to go ahead and get Evernote. Yarg. Where are you, Evernote? Here we go. Evernote has journals, all kinds of stuff. So here's Evernote, okay? Don't set. Okay, so Evernote has taken all of the things that I've kind of taken, even from my penultimate, and it's categorized them. I can put them in folders, I can put them in tags, but it's not very, very pretty. Okay, so you can't see that it's very, very pretty. But what you can do, so it wouldn't be good to present with. So you do all your research, and the students can gather information that way. You can even send them notes and the lesson plan through Evernote. But then you can go to platfolio.com, and all those notes are put into a website, so it's much prettier. And then your students have something online, all of their research and everything succinct. So this is good for really big projects as well. Here's a really good app. This is called I Know Quiz. And then you can use I Know Quiz. All of these are free, by the way. I always suggest free things. Okay. This is I Know Quiz. Okay. It does come with some, it's backwards, some different types of quizzes already, but you can make the quizzes yourself. So that's the great thing, is when your students take pictures outside and stuff, then they can make a quiz of the information, and they can give that to another student, and they can review each other's information. So here's one that I did for I Spy. They can take pictures. They have to take 6. So they have to have at least, they have to have 6 pictures. They can record their voice, so they can write the question, but they can record themselves also describing the question. So it makes a video of all of these. And then the students can also, if we go to settings, they can add praises. They can add super, great job, whatever they really want to do with it, they can do if the student gets it right. And they have multiple opportunities to make it happen. Students can also create a story with collected images. So you can put students, okay, first of all, this takes a little bit of surprise. So you can't really tell students on this one. You would give them the instructions afterwards. So first, you give them about a minute or 2 minutes. You take them outside. You give them about a minute or two. It's good to have a timer with this, okay? Or even a whistle so they can hear you long distances, you know. And you say, okay, you have 1 minute or 2 minutes and you have to go take a picture of anything or take 5 pictures, whatever they want. Okay. So they're taking at least one picture. And then you have them in groups, then you put them in groups, and then after they're in groups, they show each other their pictures, okay? And then they have to create a story with the images. So you don't want to tell them the instructions ahead of time because you want them to be very creative in putting all those pictures together. So they create a group story with the images. Now they can do this on Animoto, they can use SQ because SQ has up to 7 images. So they can even do like 4 images. They can create quizzes this way as well. They can use the I Know Quiz app and they can create quizzes with it as well. There are really simple things you can do outdoors too with mobile devices. You can have them have outdoor study breaks. So, for example, if they need to review something and it's on their mobile device, then you can just say, okay, we're going to go outside. You can sit down somewhere. We're going to take 10 minutes. And then, you can have them journal. They can use something like Kid Blog. They can use something like Blogger. All of those have really, really great journaling apps, blogging apps that'll go that you can use offline as well. They can create emails and all kinds of stuff. Google Docs, Google Drive will have it where they can write outside. So this is just a time for them. They can even take a book. They don't necessarily have to take a mobile device. But it's good to just get them outside and say you have 5-10 minutes. Just study. Okay, so you can study what you want to study. And that's one of the things that I have, that I like to have them do. It really helps them out. Now, there are different types of apps out there that are made for outdoors. You have the EcoBugs app. Teachers created EcoBugs. The great thing about EcoBugs is it comes with lots of lesson plans for math, for science, even for language learners in history. So it's augmented reality. You will have to have a mobile device. And the teachers in the UK created this. So what happens is you put these little, yeah, create stories around these bugs. Voice is another great one. You can go outside and students can create audio guides. So they're at a place, the place is bookmarked, but this would be an outdoor activities where students can go explore the city and they can maybe go to the park and different things, and then they add to this database of audio guides what they see, give tips on how to explore and things like that. You can also do geocaching. I love geocaching. Geocaching is people around the world have hidden treasures. So you can take a field trip if possible. In Germany, we'd be able to go on this S-Bahn and we'd be able to go take trips. So you can go and you can try and find one of these geocaches, or you can even plant one yourself. So people all over the world share these, and then they give you the location. They give you the the latitude and longitude, and then you go and you try to find this, and then you try to find a treasure they left behind. These are some geocaches that I have found, and these are places that I have gone to find these geocaches. So it's great fun. It takes you to so many adventures around the city. So if you have the opportunity to do that. You can create scavenger hunts. You don't need a scavenger hunt app, but if you want, there's Scavenger. This is a great app. It is an Android and is on iDevices as well. And one of the things that you can do, oh yes, exactly. Voices would be for adults though, for adult students, and for also I think you can be 17 and older for voices. You can also have it with your college students. So you can create scavenger hunts. Now, I have seen teachers with young learners do this, but you have to do it with them. It gives you challenges, and it even gives you different types of rewards. A lot of times, scavenger is associated with museums and aquariums, things like that around. So if you're doing a field trip, you might want to see scavenger there. And it gives them very interesting things and a way to really experience a field trip. So that way they're on task. So those were the different types of options you have, but there's so many more you have available. I'm going to go ahead and give you the link to my SlideShare. So you'll find camping, summer camp ideas, all kinds of ideas with the other slides. I have now over 100 presentations. So there's definitely more activities you can think of. And definitely go, and Ayat will share hopefully her activity again, because that's a wonderful one. It really matches what we're learning about today. So thank you so much for coming, and I hope you found some good activities. You can download a certificate of attendance, and you can find the resources, even the slides here. So thank you so much, and have a very great weekend. I have to jet now, so because we have fiesta, so in San Antonio, a big celebration. We celebrate for a week. Oh, and Vinicius, if you have any ideas, put yours as well. And Peggy, if you have any related webinars, that would be great. Thank you so much, everyone.